feel like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Rock. Have you watched the new Beavis and Butthead? The new episodes?
I watched one the other day.
It's Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, they're the same guys.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah,
guys.
they don't watch videos. I think they watch like TikTok videos.
Yeah, TikTok
Not
videos.
music videos.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny. The idiots on TikTok.
You
Oh,
live
yeah.
in a TikTok radio station now?
No way.
That is so stupid because music on TikTok videos is just annoying.
not great.
And you know,
It's catchy.
the-
It's catchy. You
the-
gotta give it that.
the-
It's like fucking peanut butter music. It gets stuck in your head. No substance.
the,
Like
the,
Hanson?
the problem
Just like Hanson.
the problem I have with TikTok videos is like you'll have the one hot girl, like the one that she's doing the and she pulls her top off, you know, and she's wearing some kind of bikini on it. But it's everybody doing the same exact fucking video.
Oh, it's a trend. It's a TikTok trend.
Who gives a fuck?
The kids do. The kids do. Oh, there we go.
Wow, what
We're
was
back
that
on.
noise?
Sorry about that, folks.
Wow.
It was all.
That was the Chinese.
You can't hear it,
That was the Chinese government interfering because we were starting to talk about TikTok.
right? And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like,
they're
did we
listening.
say something that we shouldn't
They've got
there?
an iPhone. They're listening.
We should mention too that Tricky's here today.
Yeah, Tricky's here.
Tricky. It's Tricky Rocker. One of the best Run DMC songs ever.
Wow. I like Run DMC. I saw them. I saw Run DMC, and it was with Aerosmith and Kid Rock. It was Aerosmith, Run DMC, Kid Rock was the third band.
Okay.
But and
Before
before Kid
Kid
Rock
became a
lost
total
his
douche.
mind.
Yeah, okay.
and,
Swallowed the
you know,
45 Kool-Aid.
right.
Yeah.
But they all
Orange flavored.
But on the last song, they all came out and did "Walk This Way" together,
Oh,
and that was awesome.
I like that one too.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh my god.
well, usually I have this so it's more secure. So I
Yeah.
would just put this over
Just you
here.
just can't move. Plug it in
Yeah,
and then
there.
don't
Okay.
move.
Oh, God,
Holy shit.
I've had a
Right?
week.
Yeah, you've had a hell of a week.
I feel like I've had a life.
Yeah,
Hell of a lot.
yeah, it doesn't get better. You know, so trying to keep away from the news and stuff like that. So, but watching more TV, movies, and stuff like that, to rather than put on whatever news
Cut off
network.
cable.
No,
I've
because
not been bothered by news since I went strictly streaming.
yeah, but well, there's so many good shows though, and
Most of them.
we'll start off with one that
Because she's talking like if you're. That's what I do too. Streaming.
Yeah,
So
like
just
Hulu,
like the
Amazon, Netflix. And you can even do Hulu Live, which will
Cable,
show
though.
you TV. Yeah, because then you get bombarded with like the news flashes, like warning, new flash.
And then some of your money has to go to those assholes at Fox Entertainment. Like, it's like, yeah, if I'm not paying for cable, you ain't getting a fucking dime from me.
you know, when the government said you have to have digital cable by a certain date, I was like, why? Why do we have to have? And I started, and I just coincided that I moved back to Kingman at the same time, and I lived way out of town on this ranch where they didn't have cable coming into the house. You had to have like a set. I was like, I don't have to have digital cable.
You
It
don't.
just-
You don't even have to have it here, and I live in town.
I'll
I
have
do.
streaming.
So I bought an antenna too, so I can pick up the free channels. That is all I do. I do the antennas and then the streaming ones.
Man, I'm telling you with Hulu. Okay, so I used to pay for Hulu Live, so I didn't have that lag because it's always like, man, I hate the spoilers on Facebook. Like you're so invested in a series, and it's like season finale, and somebody goes and says something before because Hulu won't post it till like 3 a.m. the next morning.
Okay.
So I used to pay for Live, but that's like $70 a month. So instead, I'm just at like the
I know.
$11 a month one with the ads.
It's expensive for the live.
well,
show.
yeah, and then you get all the streaming services, because you need this to watch this one and that one. That does
know.
add
The
up.
way you do it, like my little brother's got Paramount Plus. I share my my Amazon password. You should just share my
Yeah.
password with me.
We cannot,
Can't condone sharing passwords.
yeah, we
for
cannot
streaming
condone
services.
sharing.
Yeah, we don't want
passwords.
them to ruin it. Don't be telling
Yeah,
me
like
to do that.
Netflix is doing away with that.
How?
They're going to get away with going to get rid of password sharing. I don't know how you do that.
Right. There's no way because look at, for example, you got truck drivers.
They've already got pushback.
They're
from that,
moving-
too. I don't think
They're
would
moving
do it.
through states as they're watching shit. Like, how are
Yeah.
you gonna stop? Like,
And what if you have like 2 homes? What about the people that have 2 homes? So they use one at one house and one at the in their summer home or whatever.
Right.
You know?
right? Or their family. Like, for example, my dad will be at the Kingman at the ranch house, and my mom will be at the St. George house simultaneously. So now they have to pay you twice Netflix. So they have a geolocated service instead of a personal service.
And they already do the thing now where you can either pay for up to 2 TVs, like you could do
Right.
1 TV, you could do 2 TVs, or you could do like 4 TVs. So it's like, you're already getting enough money from people. Like,
Right.
give me a break.
Right.
Okay, so we touched on it briefly. That movie, The Whale, that Brendan
Yes.
Fraser got Best Actor for.
Yes.
And now I personally I liked when I say I liked the movie, I didn't necessarily like the subject matter. I thought it was a well done movie, well acted movie, well written movie.
Keep saying well,
Right.
and it sounds
That's
like whale.
Right? I know. Well. Okay.
Well.
I agree with you on that, that I just didn't like the story because like the story talks about like the boyfriend's suicide and then that's why he gets so depressed and does like
Gets overweight,
emotional eating or whatnot.
like
But
super
I'm like,
overweight.
But
Okay,
it's
so
like
I
but
didn't
he
know any
knew
of that.
what he was doing to himself and I'm like, so you're slowly killing yourself. Like you felt bad for him. I'm like, dude, there were easier ways to if you were dead set on killing yourself, and you obviously were. I mean, there's less painful ways. I mean, going to those extremes. I
I've
mean,
been
that's
an
what I
emotional
got.
eater before, and I was heavy before. I don't know that it's necessarily like a conscious decision. Is more of a fuck it. What does it matter?
And this
Well, that's
and
how he acted too.
but
It was kind of like that. But I'm like, but it kind of revolved around the
'Cause you get
the
to a certain
boyfriend's
point.
suicide and like the sister who also takes care of him, the sister of the boyfriend. She's like, doing the whole you can't save people, and it's like.
But you're trying
Yeah,
to save him.
he thought that I'm like, dude, you're doing the same exact thing that your boyfriend did. You're just dragging yours out.
Right.
It was sad.
See, I've only watched the trailer, and I was like, no, I'm not spending I think it was only down to $4.99 or $3.99. I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not doing it because it looked depressing.
it is.
It looked
It
fucking
is.
like
is.
something I'm gonna want to chew my wrists out by the time it's over.
No,
Like,
yeah,
it's
you
sad.
you can't be depressed and go in and watch it.
So I'm not far enough past my breakup yet for that.
Yeah, don't watch it.
I watched it when I was in a good frame of mind, and then afterwards I was sad.
It puts you in a bad place. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. And
Right.
but kudos to Brendan Fraser for putting not only his acting chops but his body through that.
Well, no, that was
I'm
all
sure he wore a
that fat
suit.
suit.
It was a fat
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was all
'cause
makeup.
there's no way he could have got. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he could have got
no.
up that.
No, I mean,
But he
And then-
obviously gained some weight for the part.
No,
His face wasn't right either.
well, no, but I think that's just him now. Because he hasn't been working, and I think he has an autistic kid and stuff like that, and that's kind of why he kind of retired for a while, and now he's getting back
plus he
into
was
it.
Weinstein.
He was
Huh?
what?
Weinstein.
Was he?
Yes,
he
he
was.
was.
Me too.
Yes, he was.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he was.
I didn't know he was one
Look
of
it
them.
up. Look it up. Yep.
Dang,
I
I
think-
think should have been
I
prepared.
don't know if he
for
was
this.
sexually harassed by directly or if he tried to say something standing up for somebody. But he got
Oh, so you
Oh.
got blacklisted.
So he got he wasn't a
remember he was everywhere for a minute and then just whoof.
he wasn't like a molester or.
I thought it was that
sexual-
George in the Jungle movie that did it to him.
No, he wasn't. He was not a bad guy. He wasn't a bad guy. I think he was.
I see what you're saying. He spoke out.
Yeah, I think he spoke out. Or he was hit on, but I can't. Maybe he was hit on by Spacey. Did they work together?
I don't think so.
Sorry, Spacey.
Okay.
You were my favorite actor. I'm not trying to drag your name through, but
I know.
I know.
What sucks is I really like Kevin Spacey
Oh my
too,
God, I
and now
love him.
I cannot watch a movie he's in.
I know,
right.
but
I loved him.
okay.
He was such a good he
With
is
Kevin
such a good actor.
Spacey's though, like correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know what he did that was like extremely inappropriate. I
Well,
thought
no,
he like grabbed some guy's ass.
He
or
used his
something.
power to press on young men and make them have sexual relationships with him.
See, I thought I had only heard of the one thing where the guy.
That's what
the
like,
guy, like,
popped the
got-
pimple and everything started coming out from there.
Okay, because I had heard about like the guy that he grabbed his ass or something at a party, and I'm like, okay, well that's not
I grab people's ass all the time.
right. Like then I should be in jail too, you know. But it's like that. I didn't realize that there was more that came out because of that. That was really all I had heard about, and I'm like, that to me isn't.
Yeah, no, he was doing the same thing kind of like as Weinstein, like using his political or not political, but his Hollywood power and clout to
Hook up
force
with
people, younger men
Young
in
guys,
particular,
okay.
to have relationships, especially budding actors like wanting to get in. I'll help you get in if you, or I'm going to tell everybody you're this if you don't, kind of situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, speaking of, like a tough week and stuff like that. So yesterday I decided, hey, I'll take the kids to the movies, get out of the house, because I don't know about you, but this winter is just dragging on forever in this particular area.
Oh, my God.
It's not miserable, but it's not getting any warmer.
I am so fucking irritated. Like, I'm like, I can take the rain, but for fuck's sakes, let's get rid of the freezing. It's almost April, and
We'll get at least
some
one
days
more.
it's still freezing. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
We'll get at least one more snow because we always do around Easter. We'll get at least one more.
I don't think so. I don't think we'll get snow.
Well, you guys are a little lower than I am, but we always get
you
at least
might,
one
yeah.
snow right around Easter. That's why I haven't planted my flowers yet. They're in pots inside the house because there's.
Yeah, they'll die.
Yeah. So we go to the movies and we go see John Wick 4.
Oh, I love John Wick.
Great movies, right? The other three were really good.
I love his character. I love the man, John Wick.
yeah.
Like, I would bang the shit out of him.
Well,
John Wick,
And
homie.
not just because it's Keanu Reeves.
Fucking
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves. No, Keanu
Well-
Reeves is a good human being. Like, I
Yeah.
might bang
I
him
like
too.
Keanu Reeves.
But, like, John Wick, damn.
yeah. And this one, I'm not going to say too much about it, but you've seen the other John Wick movies. They're mindless. They really are. Well, the stories are actually good, but it's just senseless, over the top,
It's like a comic book.
ultra violent, just ridiculously violent, unbelievably violent. And I was just sitting there going,
so
man,
the folks around here have to be huge fans.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like gun porn to them.
Oh gosh. Maybe they consider it a porno.
Oh, they would.
They're like, excuse me, I'm gonna need to be alone by myself to
Foreplay.
watch John Wick.
It's
They
foreplay. They go home and have the best sex
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah, and
Right?
he always breaks out the newest badass gun and
Okay.
badass bullets and shit like that. And as I'm watching the movie, going, oh yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. But I just can imagine the gun nuts are just like, they break out the gun oil, they get out the box of tissues
like-
if they're watching it at home. Yeah. And it's a bad joke. This is a bad joke. Okay, I preface this is a bad joke, but he kills a lot of Asians in this movie.
Oh, where is it located? Over like in an Asian country,
part
or-
of it's in Tokyo.
Oh, okay, so
On
that
it.
makes sense. Why?
Yeah. And it brought me to, again, go see it. It's good. And the ending is tremendous and stuff like that. It kind of brings everything together.
Do you
without
think there will
ruining
be a John Wick 5?
I don't know.
Okay.
I do not know. That would be a spoiler either way on how it ends. But it brought me back to, the episode Jon Stewart from a couple weeks ago when he was talking to the Oklahoma State Senator, Nathan Dahm.
Oh, God.
And-
I'm sorry, did you say dumb?
Dahm.
Oh, I was like, dumb, that
D-A-H-M.
makes sense.
Wasn't he in the
saw that.
This Is America too? That guy? Wasn't he in This Is America?
No, I think that was Sarah Silverman's show, right?
No.
This
This Is
America?
America with Barat, the one that featured Kingman and We Tolerate Him.
Oh, no.
That wasn't that guy?
No, it wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy was all about, we have to, not teach this in school because we have to look out for the kids. So Jon Stewart goes, well, don't these gun laws help protect kids? And the guy just came up with just bullshit answers. Everything Jon Stewart was trying to ask him, he was just not making sense and stuff like that. And so then they talked about, because it's back the blue and stuff like that. And they said, well, background checks, don't they protect police officers? And Jon Stewart had the studies and stuff like that. Police officers are for this bill, to have gun registration and stuff like that. And the guy wouldn't support that either because he was just all about more guns, more guns, more guns. And the guy was clearly bought off.
Well, yeah, if
By
you
the
have
NRA.
the NRA depositing money into your campaign funds,
This is the thing, though. Okay, so
that's what he's going to do.
gun registration's great for law-abiding citizens, but I know somebody personally who just shot himself in the leg in a casino last month with a ghost gun.
Well,
Wasn't supposed to be carrying a gun, not registered, not even got a serial number. So criminals are going to do crime, period. All it does is restrict the law-abiding citizen from being able to do what they want to do. Criminals are going to crime.
well, yeah, but did this person that shot himself in the leg, did he get charged with anything?
Yeah, having a gun when he wasn't supposed
Yeah,
to.
like a
discharging
prohibited
in the
possessor.
discharging in a casino.
Yeah, because I was like, they'll at
But
least.
that's the thing. Like, I understand the idea but let's get smarter. Let's do better. Like, let's stop trying to legislate our way out of problems, and let's technologically deal with the problem. You can open your phone with your face or your thumbprint. Why not make it to where
Right.
you buy a gun, you have to biometrically seal yourself to that gun so it belongs to you.
Right. You could
So a criminal can't use this gun from you.
you could have like something that reads your fingerprint
Right.
to pull the trigger.
Wouldn't that make a lot more sense than making people do paperwork and pay the government to process the paperwork?
Yeah, but then the argument would be, well, that's not my freedom because if I'm in the situation and I need to pick up a gun,
Pick up your gun that you are biometrically registered to, bro. Keep your biometrically registered gun on your hip. I'll feel safer. It's good sense. Like, you cannot legislate morality. Period. It doesn't work.
well,
Prohibition. Say no to drugs. It doesn't work.
and
Education.
we're never gonna get over the gun problem. Okay, well, that's not. Believe me. We're talking to a brick wall if we think we're going to solve the gun problem. We are not going to solve the gun problem. We're not going to change anybody's minds, and we're not anti-gun on this show.
Right. There have been things though that, I mean, the reason that the mass shootings have gone up because of there was an assault weapons ban that was put into place under Clinton, and then when George W. got into office, he just let it relapse. So it went away, and so that's why we have a lot of these shootings where they're taking place where people shouldn't necessarily have those types of weapons.
And I agree with you. I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying, but here's the thing: is like criminals and people who are
They're
going to
gonna
figure it out. They might not be able to pass the standardized test, but they're fucking brilliant when it comes to finding a way around the law.
Here you go. Look at the
now-
cartel. They find a way to get their guns.
So you
Guess
can't
where
go
they
buy
get their guns from.
Right.
From us.
Right. So you can't go into a store and buy an AR-15. Okay, you can't buy it on a gun show. Cool, but you can buy all the parts online to build your own.
Yeah.
And now this one's not registered and has no serial number.
I know.
Well, the only aspect of that is it would solve the issue of the people that in the heat of the moment, the kid goes out, buys a gun that morning, and the next day he goes and shoots up the school.
Yeah, like
But that's not supposed to be able to happen anyways because of the Brady bill. So,
right.
so we've already got bills out there designed to prevent things from happening that are happening. How about if we fix that if we're ready to do one?
Right? They should be, like the people who shouldn't be having the guns, how in the fuck are they still getting them?
And that goes back to because
and they're getting them legally. They're going to buy them from a store.
Because a person who legally could buy a gun bought a gun, a criminal stole it from them, filed off the serial number, and now it's a ghost gun. And it's being passed around the criminal world, being used for who knows what.
No one's saying it's an easy situation, but in the case of this senator, it was just all bullshit. Yeah. All bullshit. Don't say you want to protect the kids. It's about protecting the kids. And then when there's one situation like a simple background check, okay? Yes, people are going to get guns, but a simple background check, okay? It might stop one, maybe, who knows?
Well, how about the fact, if they're really concerned with
but what about the Vegas guy? He had all those guns; those were his legal guns.
Well, to that point, with that example, why doesn't that raise a red flag that guy gets investigated?
Or what about the people who the porters who brought all those guns from the fucking the ground level up to his fucking room?
No, he brought them up himself. And why didn't that raise a red flag that he keeps on going to his car and back?
Just the kid thing, okay? So for a while there, they were putting the gun scanners in schools. Then they decided to just get rid of I don't understand the mentality here. It's all right, if we're going to try to do that, then why couldn't you leave the metal detectors in the schools? Yeah, it's not comfortable for kids to have to go through that, but it's this is something that's continuing to happen, and it's you have people who are just well, we don't want to have to pay for that in our schools. We don't want our tax dollars going to that.
How about instead of sitting here and arguing for hours on hours on hours about what to do with the guns, why not actually implement safety training for mass shootings at the school level?
Well, there is.
Well, they do that. They already do that.
They do the drills.
That's what they have to do. That one
and provide the kids with their backpacks. I mean, that money is well spent.
So the dad, wasn't it one of the parents from the Sandy Hook thing that invented the shield backpack? But it's we have to do that just so that we can't do,
it's easier to protect your kids by sending them out with protection than trying to protect them from the unknown criminal that's going to find a way to do what they're going to try to do.
My thing, I wish they would just treat guns like they do cars, because there's always the saying guns don't kill people, people kill people. Cars don't kill people, the people who are operating them do. Make people get the insurance or whatnot so that when this does happen, at least the victims can fucking get some sort of reparations out of it, whatever. They can get some money from it.
So are all the police officers going to have insurance on their car?
They should definitely have to have it. They should, because you know what? Doctors have to have their
malpractice insurance.
They have to have liability insurance and whatnot. If we're doctors,
that puts us right back into the point that America is a litigious motherfucking country. All we care about is the dollar sign, the Benjamins. If you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you worse by getting your fucking money. Does that really fix the situation? Does that really restore justice to me?
If you're if you were in a car accident, wouldn't you go after the person that? You're hey, you're gonna have to pay my medical bills. I'm sorry that you were in the wrong, but I would honestly I would be
Right, but
I'm
like,
going
look
to
at what
be-
a big racket insurance is. The insurance industry is in itself. Like, we pay how much in car insurance every month in the case that we might have an accident, and how many of us go our entire life never having an accident.
Right.
You know, same with health insurance. You pay so much a month every month in case you get sick. Some people pay that all the time and never get sick and use those benefits. Some people never pay, go to the
Right.
hospital and get covered for free. You know, it's just then we're giving another. And I really believe the insurance racket is a racket, like as opposed to
No,
like
it is. It is. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I agree on certain. It's not like I love insurance companies. Matter of fact, like, I'm a person who would be more for Medicare for all. And if you want private insurance beyond that, then you can go and get a supplemental thing. I hate my least favorite of the insurance is health insurance. It is, I think that they're like scammers, you know.
Insurance.
They're ripping people off.
Insurance companies, call it what it is. They're in business to fuck people over.
Right.
I mean, take the money in and not pay it out. I mean, that's
find
why
every
it's a
way
business.
you can to deny.
But that's the business model of what insurance is,
And we
that's
gotta remember
how we.
that's what America is. We are a business. We are a corporation.
We
for real.
live in a business. We don't really live in a country. I mean,
And that's
Yeah.
why we operate the way we do.
You know,
and have the issues that we do.
You know, and speaking of mental health and shit like that, and this falls into the TikTok, the Facebooks, and everything like that, is I think social media has also fucked with our heads and stuff like that, fucked with our mental health.
I
But-
would give anything to go back 20 years.
Before social media, yeah.
know,
At least that way, all the hate people had in their hearts, they would have to whisper it to each other, and
Right.
you don't have that open forum to put it out there.
Like, man, and it's just so hard being. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a kid because it's hard being an adult on social media. Like, okay, I'm recently single and like trying to put yourself out there to meet people. Like, crazy, like the shit that people have said and done and whatever in the past week alone. Like, I can't even believe it. I just can't even believe it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that
It feels like social media was designed to connect us, but it's really just taking us further from each other.
Well,
Like,
even with the gun thing, how much anxiety do you have in your life that you've got to strap an AR-15 to your back to go order a sandwich?
I know.
That
I
constant
feel
fear
sorry
of
for
being
the people
attacked
who
like that.
actually have that type of anxiety. Those are the ones that I feel sorry for. Like, I feel bad for you that you feel that level of anxiety to go outside, that you need to arm yourself. It's more the dick swingers that I laugh at. Like, they aren't fucking anxious. They're trying to show you how big their little dick is by strapping a big old gun
Well,
on it.
and it's mostly that.
Yeah.
It's mostly like, hey, look at me,
They
I'm
feel
a tough
very
guy.
small.
Yeah,
So in order to feel
and
big,
you're-
they have to get a big gun.
and
Just like the big truck.
show it off.
And you've got your Second Amendment T-shirt with a flag on your shoulder and like
And you're
that.
paying extra for your license plate to have a flag on it.
Yeah, and you got the Punisher decal on your truck and stuff like that. And we know. And if you're into that, cool, whatever. If you're
My
into guns,
70-something-year-old
whatever.
stepdad has a Punisher decal on his truck, and I'm like, do you even know what that is? Like, do you know that's a comic?
Well, like that. I think they changed the Punisher logo because they didn't want it to symbolize that, it's become bastardized on it.
Right. Just like I don't give a shit what you want to try and say the Confederate flag once stood for. I see that shit in your profile, I'm instantly swiping the other way, the left.
Right.
I see a Confederate flag in a dude's profile. Boom. No.
Bye.
Right, and it used to
Don't
mean.
need to know ya.
No, thank you.
And I get it. I didn't want to see the Dukes of Hazzard canceled because they used to have the flag. But very telling
That
moment.
was a group that lived in the area.
But no. Here's the thing though. When they remade the remake of the Dukes of Hazzard and they parodied it, and they're driving through Atlanta and it's like spring break, and I forget what Atlanta spring break is called.
Atlanta.
but they're driving the General Lee, and like the whole crowd is like looking down and seeing the Confederate flag, and they're getting all these dirty looks. I mean, even then, that movie came out 20 years ago at this point.
I think
Something like
early
that.
2000s.
Yeah,
Like, I drove past douchebag's fucking store, and I like leather. I will never shop that motherfucker store ever, because he still, after all this time, has that sign out there: heritage, not hate.
that's what they
Okay,
believe, though.
and okay, let me just say something about heritage, not hate. I wanted to ask him, I wanted to go, so your heritage is owning people? I mean, like, wait, why would you put that on, what?
Are
What?
you actually from the South? Did your family actually, like,
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in New Hampshire who would, who are,
heritage, not hate?
heritage, not hate, have the Confederate flag. I'm like going, do you realize that heritage probably killed your ancestors?
Yeah, you live in the North, like that would, of course, when I went to Boston and I did like the tour, they had this museum and it was about the Civil War. And it was talking about how there was even Confederate sympathizers up in Boston. Yeah. At the time. And you're just like, really?
It's just one of those things, like, you see that, you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, again, it's something that the gun issue we're not going to solve. I think it starts with if we could have a legitimate conversation of no, we don't want to take your guns.
Even if we could just talk about it without people getting so crazy over the subject matter.
Yeah,
it's
and
like we can't ever even have a decent
Why can't you be that passionate
Yeah,
about
yeah,
healthcare
yeah.
or like
Right.
access
Well,
to
and-
feminine products? Or,
And the problem being is every time that there's a mass shooting, immediately there's thoughts and prayers, which whatever. And then the second thing that comes out is, well, they post the videos on their Facebook page. AR-15 doesn't stand for assault rifle, and they go that route without saying, "Hey, this is a tragedy." And then they always say this too: we should invest more in mental health care.
duh.
Okay, but then they don't.
Then they don't
Right.
do it.
Then
Right.
they don't.
So it's like
Right.
no matter how you look at
It's
it's
mental
always
masturbation.
lip service.
Yeah.
It
And-
is always
And you know what?
lip service.
Bring this all full circle back to John Wick and stuff like that. When they say it's video games and they say this, they never blame John Wick movies. You know why?
Because it makes too much money.
No, because John Wick is gun porn, and you wouldn't want to take that away.
Well, so are video games, but the adults don't play them.
Right.
I mean, that was just, I was trying to make a joke there, but, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I certainly
Our
don't have all the
country-
answers, but I feel like if we got more people, like real people, in the room, instead of these paid asses who have been generationally paid into their seats, I think it honestly boils down to term limits.
like,
And we
know
can't
that-
generationally
that-
pass our seat on
The
to somebody.
problem with term limits, though, is you still have the same shitty fucking lobbyists. That's the problem with term
Yeah,
limits.
you got to get
So
rid of money in politics. You
yeah,
got to get rid of lobbyists.
You could get rid of a senator who's been there forever, but you're still gonna have the same fucking lobbyists dumping money into the new person.
See,
you know?
and you should not be able to affect legislation with money.
Well, here's the thing too about like America's gun problem. Why don't there's mental health issues in every country. There's not a country that wouldn't have them. Why are our numbers so worse than other countries? I mean, other industrialized world countries.
Access.
We are terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
We were born, we were founded on the idea of being able to defend ourselves
it's-
from ourselves.
It's a bunch of things. It's the access to guns. We have more guns than people in this country. Okay,
Right.
Which okay, we
Because
can't
we're a
solve it.
militarized, industrialized nation.
Film.
right.
Everything, our police.
yeah.
It's our mental health care. It's the insurance companies. All this shit all ties in together.
It's the us versus them mentality.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like guns make money.
Yes,
You know, we were
well,
talking about
and yes,
businesses.
and even though I'm propping up this John Wick movie, yeah, it's glorified violence, and I think
It was a
some
good
people,
fun time.
I think some people though get desensitized to that, especially with social media.
Hell
You
yeah.
get
It's
desensitized
just like
to human.
pornography.
Yeah,
It's just like pornography. The more straight heterosexual porn you watch, the more it becomes like meh. So then you have to go into something a little kinkier, and then becomes meh. And then
Now
you have to
it's
go a
like
little
the
kinkier.
family shit. Like it's like the
Yeah.
people banging their own
Foster
kids, or
kids,
whatever.
and
Yeah,
you
I'm
know, like
like,
you have to go. You're right. It does desensitize you. The more and I think it goes all the way back to like, why do we have to have officers with guns? Like, no other other industrializations, nations, their cops do not wear guns.
yeah.
You know, and so we see officers with guns on their hips all the time. So it becomes like. So, okay, and then everybody else, like, okay, if I'm going against the officer, I have to have a gun. So now we've
Right.
got people in the streets wearing guns, you know? So we just, like you said, we see it so much.
Right, but like, and that's too like a question I have for like other nations is you remember how you were talking about like criminals gonna crime and everything? We know there's criminals in every country. But they're not able to get as easy as access. Like, what are they doing right that we're not doing right? That's the thing that I don't understand.
Well, I mean, we could look at New Zealand. They had that mass shooting, and their prime minister said,
I thought that was Australia.
no, that was
no,
Where-
it's Australia.
Yeah,
Australia's the one that had the
Australia
shooting.
No, New Zealand did as well. Remember the it was a church. It was in Christchurch, I believe it was. It was in the South Island. Somebody went in and shot up. It was a Muslim church, I believe.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
QAnon
And
person.
Jacinda, I think her name is Jacinda.
Jacinda, yeah.
The prime minister was like, no more automatic rifles in our country.
Oh, well,
period."
yeah, she got rid of that, but I don't think she got rid of, like,
All guns.
guns completely.
No, but
Not
they're-
like Australia did, though. They were like, no
Their
more guns.
country does not have guns though. It's just not a thing. Like
Right.
it's just,
They just
not.
don't care.
It's just not a thing to them. You know,
Which is weird because Australia was a country based on
it's
prisoners.
penal, a
Yeah.
penal
It
colony.
was like they sent all the less desirables there. You're going to live in Australia.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, we'll wrap up this episode on
Okay.
it. You know, because we're not going to solve anything, but you know, we just wanted to talk about that shit, and we will talk
back
to you
with
real
part
soon
two.
about another
to
one.
solve it, they've just come up with something else. That's life. Like there's always going to be quagmires that are unsolvable, and the minute you do find a solution, there's another one that pops up.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem is getting worse, not better. It's getting
Is
worse.
it?
Yes.
I feel like maybe it's because I have been so wrapped up in my immediate situation for the past at least year that I haven't been paying attention to as much news. But I feel like a couple years ago it was worse than it is now. It's like every week. Am I wrong?
Well, no, we haven't had one yet this year. I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
Knock on
One what this year?
mass shooting.
Mass shooting.
Yeah, we have.
Well, I mean, like a big one. You know, like an over the top one.
Oh,
a Sandy Hook, Parkland,
like a
Las
Uvalde
Vegas,
or something. Yeah.
Uvalde.
But we've still had more mass shootings so far this year than we've had
Yeah.
days in this year.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
no, it happens on a daily
We
occurrence.
just don't hear it.
Yeah, because in order for something to be technically considered a mass shooting, I think it's like, isn't it three or more
people.
three or more people who have been shot. So if you're saying that that's what constitutes a mass shooting, yeah, we've had more mass shootings. I mean, we've had days where you have even more than one mass shooting that happened on the same day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Maybe we're just desensitized and not putting
we
it
do?
out there as much as we were last.
Or
couple
maybe,
years ago.
we can like train like John Wick
right.
on it. All right, so we'll talk to you next time. And
Thanks for letting me hang out
Yeah.
with y'all again.
hey, good to see you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.